Hi. So around midnight yesterday, I uploaded a video to my other channel, Abacaba, that's about the history of the most popular memes since 2004. And in this video, I just wanted to talk about the methodology I used to collect the data. Just because I don't want anyone to think that I'm keeping everything under wraps. I want to be upfront with how I got the data. And this is a way to confront all the people who are commenting on my video things like, where's YouTube poops? Where's Donald Trump? Where's this and where's that? And I just want to remind those people that this is data and I didn't handpick anything. So, you can't blame me because the Google Trends API just gives me these numbers and then I show you those numbers. So if anything, blame Google Trends. Also, there's only 15 slots in the video. At a certain point, I'm gonna run out of space, and I'm sure there's 16 plus memes that people are fans of, so yeah, not everyone can be happy. But on to how I actually got the data. So what we want to approximate is how many times a meme was posted / thought / said per month. Oh, by the way, we're going with monthly data because I realized that anything finer than that is gonna be really hard to find. So we want to find how often memes are posted per month, but there's so many different platforms that people can post memes on. Those platforms change in popularity themselves. They take different forms. They can show up in images, which would be harder to process. So I just figured the closest proxy, I don't know what you call it, approximation of how often a meme is posted is just how often it's Googled. So I went with Google Trends for my starting point, also because Google Trends goes back to 2004. That's really nice. And it seems to cover a wide audience of people because everyone Googles stuff. You really don't want to focus on just the 4chaners or just the Facebook moms. This way we encompass everything. So if we take a meme, I'm going to use Uganda Knuckles as an example. So what I would do is I would Google it, but I'm not actually physically Googling it. I have this Python script that will go through each meme automatically, and it uses some API to do it, so it's faster. So we get a graph from 2004 to 2019, and since Uganda Knuckles was in 2018, you can see the spike is really close to the end. So this gives us a relative graph for how popular it was. Now Google Trends is kind of annoying in that it doesn't give you absolute data. I mean, that might be a way of kind of obfuscating the actual search counts because then people would know how to manipulate it. But anyway, this graph, I don't get an idea of the scale of how tall this is vertically. So to know that scale, I went to knowyourmeme.com and I got a little criticism for using Know Your Meme. And then I would look up the page for Uganda Knuckles, and on there, it has a total view count. Did I search it wrong? Ugandan Knuckles. Oh, here it is. Okay. And there's a total view count here. Well, okay, it's kind of hard to see, but I think you can trust me there. And that way, we can just kind of assume that the area under the Google Trends graph should be equivalent to that number, which in this case was 5.1 million views. I used Know Your Meme for view counts not only because it gave me an absolute number, but also because certain memes are not as Google friendly. So I think there's a meme that's X all the Y because it takes up the form eat all the donuts or slash all the fruit. I don't know. So no one's gonna Google X all the Y because that's not what you think of when you think of that meme. And another example is the loss meme. You can't just Google the word loss and expect to find any kind of meme because it's such a common word, you're gonna get everything related to the concept of losing. So I felt like Know Your Meme was a good place to get the total view count because anyone who's curious about the lost meme, the concept of that meme, would go, well, not anyone, but they would go here at about the same frequency as any other meme. So there was no bias against hard-to-word memes as there would be with Google Trends. So you do the division to get kind of an estimation for how many views a meme would get per month. But then you run into another hurdle, I guess, because Know Your Meme as a website itself fluctuates in popularity. And it didn't exist before 2009, I think. So any data you get before 2009, it wouldn't make sense to divide the view count by that area, or it wouldn't make sense to divide the area before 2009 by the view count, because during that time, it couldn't have been racking up views on Know Your Meme. So, okay. What I did was I also Googled Know Your Meme as kind of a calibration system. I don't know what to call it. So based on this, Know Your Meme peaked in mid 2011 and has been at around 40% of that since 2013. So that way, knowing this, you know that if a meme got 1 million views in recent times on Know Your Meme, that's more impressive than if it got 1 million views in 2011, because as a website, Know Your Meme was more popular in 2011, so like every single page would hit 1 million, you know what I mean? So what I would do next is, I don't know how to explain it. I would like multiply the two graphs to see what, like how much they align, to see, okay, did this meme spike just happen to also coincide with the website's overall spike? In that case, you know, that's not as impressive, so I'm gonna punish you. Whereas if you got a big spike, you know, during modern times or like before Know Your Meme even existed, there's less overlap, so you would be boosted to compensate for that. So it's kind of dodgy because we're assuming that the Google Trends of Know Your Meme reflects the actual activity on Know Your Meme, which isn't always true. Also, I'm saying Know Your Meme all the time. It sounds weird. But that's the general gist of it. That was my methodology, and that's how I got the numbers. What I also wanted to say are the downfalls of that. So the downfall of using Know Your Meme as an overall view counter is that you can't guarantee that every single meme will get its rightful views on this website. So one of the ones that actually kind of has like irked me a little bit was that the ice bucket challenge, like the biggest thing of 2014, doesn't show up in my video. And it doesn't because it's like debatable whether or not that's a meme. Like I would consider it a meme, but if you go to its page on this website, it only has 100,000 views, which is not enough for it to compete with the other pages. And that might be because when people search Ice Bucket Challenge on Google, they're not going to click on the link that takes them to Know Your Meme. So because of that, it just can't compete and doesn't show up at all, even though I think it's a big cultural phenomenon. Likewise, the opposite could happen. So Nevada Tan, I think it's related to a murder case between two Japanese girls from 2004. I'm not entirely sure, but what happened was, as a tribute to that, some band named themselves Nevada Tan in 2007. So there's a spike in search interest for Nevada Tan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, in 2007, and then it dies down. And only now am I starting to think those people are actually searching for the band, not the meme that preceded it. So you see this like spike in the video. Nevada Tan actually goes to first place, but it might be because people are interested in the band, and a band is not a meme, so it shouldn't be there. So that's a mistake that I didn't catch. But I think that in the long run, using this automated approach is a lot better, because you cannot trust one person to know the accuracy of every single meme that ever happened. So when people comment saying that, oh, this is so inaccurate, which they have been, you know, like they haven't seen the entirety of the internet. So there could have been a lot of memes that go past their radar without them knowing. So because of that, when I got this like faulty data, and not faulty, but like I got this data that I felt like there were issues with, it didn't feel right for me to like include or uninclude things just because I felt like they were right or wrong. Like, okay, 2010, there was this huge Jesse Slaughter scandal, and in the video there's this huge spike, and I personally feel like it's larger than it should be, because that actually kind of dwarfs the actual memes of 2010, like Double Rainbow, Bed Intruder, Inception. All of those would have been first in the video had Jesse Slaughter not been like huge at the top. So like if I were to personally set how high everything went, I would have like shrunk it down at least a little bit so it could like compete with the others. But if I did that, then I would be claiming that I know exactly how often things were shared on the internet back then, and I was only 13 back then. And so I don't think I have the right to do that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I want to say. This was kind of long and boring, but yeah, I just wanted you to know.